Hello and welcome to EduBridge IS. I am Vishal Singh and today we will talk about the Draft Cinematograph Amendment Bill 2021 and a general discussion on the importance of films, art and free expression, which will be very useful for your essay paper. So please make sure to watch the video till the end. Please check out our current affairs course beginning from the 1st of August 2021. The details are available on our Telegram channel and in the description given below the video. Recently, the Centre has released a draft of the Cinematograph Amendment Bill 2021. Drafts of bills are published and circulated before introducing them in order to elicit the opinion of different stakeholders and members of the public. तो कोई भी इम्पॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ लेजिस्लेशन को इंट्रोड्यूस करने से पहले सरकार क्या करती है कि उसका एक ड्राफ्ट बना के पब्लिश कर देती है ताकि उससे अफेक्ट होने वाले जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं और बाकी मेंबर्स ऑफ पब्लिक अपने अपने ओपिनियंस सरकार को बता सकें सो दैट नेसेसरी चेंजेस इफ रिक्वायर्ड मे बी मेड. Among other changes, the new draft seeks to amend the Cinematograph Act of 1952 to give the central government revisionary powers over the CBFC or Central Board of Film Certification. इस ड्राफ्ट को प्रिपेयर करने के समय जस्टिस मुकुल मुदगल कमेटी और श्याम बेनेगल कमेटी के ओपिनियंस को कंसिडरेशन में लिया गया है. बी माइंडफुल ऑफ द नेम्स ऑफ दीज कमिटीज़ and the relevance of these committees since the UPSC has been asking direct questions regarding committees in the prelims. While writing answers in the mains, it would also fetch you better marks if you were to mention the names of these committees. So let us first talk about the Central Board of Film Certification or CBFC. आपने इसको इसके आम नाम से colloquial नेम से सुना होगा सेंसर बोर्ड. But since you are UPSC aspirants, you should address it by the correct name. इसका सही नेम है Central Board of Film Certification और CBFC. It is a statutory body under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, जिसको Cinematograph Act 1952 के तहत बनाया गया है. It is headquartered in Mumbai and consists of nominated but non-official members. एंड इनके जो मेंबर्स होते हैं दे आर नॉमिनेटेड बाय द सेंटर. यानी कि सेंटर फिल्म की फील्ड से रिलेटेड कुछ एक्सपर्ट्स को नॉमिनेट करता है. व्हाट इज़ द पर्पस ऑफ दिस बॉडी? इट रेगुलेट्स द पब्लिक एग्जिबिशन ऑफ फिल्म्स एंड विदाउट इट्स सर्टिफिकेशन नो फिल्म कैन बी पब्लिश्ड. दिस बॉडी कैन ऑल्सो सजेस्ट चेंजेस टू द कॉन्टेंट so as to make it palatable without destroying their artistic value. तो अगर फिल्म में कुछ ऐसा कंटेंट है which the board might consider to be controversial or which it anticipates may lead to certain problems later on, it may suggest changes in some cases, right? Hence you can imagine the importance of this body, especially when it comes to safeguarding the freedoms of speech and expression. So the vision behind the creation of this body was not to act as a censor but to promote the freedom of speech and expression in such a way that there is a balance between morality, public order and on the other hand artistic integrity. So it is supposed to be a friend of filmmakers, not an enemy. Now let us discuss the proposed changes to the Cinematograph Act of 1952. The new draft proposes 4 important changes. ठीक है. Currently फिल्म्स को 4 कैटेगरीज में सर्टिफाई किया जाता है. U, UA, A and S कैटेगरीज. U कैटेगरी इज अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड पब्लिक एग्जीबिशन. तो इसके एग्जीबिशन पे ब्रॉडकास्ट पे कोई भी रोक नहीं है. इसको किसी भी एज कैटेगरी के लिए अप्रोप्रिएट माना जाता है. UA कैटेगरी क्या होती है? इट रिफर्स टू unrestricted public exhibition but with parental discretion for children below the age of 12 years. तो 12 साल के बच्चे अगर इसको देख रहे हैं तो देयर पेरेंट्स उन पे डिपेंड करेगा कि वो ये फिल्म्स देख सकते हैं या नहीं देख सकते हैं. तीसरा कैटेगरी है रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू एडल्ट्स. तो बिलो 18 years of age children are not allowed to watch such films and restricted to any special class of person. So a film which has been made or is appropriate only for a special class of persons, बाकी कोई उसको देख नहीं सकता है. So this is restricted category. 2 restricted categories हैं A and S. तो जो UA category है, the new draft proposes to subdivide this category into three age-based categories: UA 7 plus, UA 13 plus, and UA 16 plus. This change also mirrors the new IT rules for स्ट्रीमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स. तो अभी आपने रिसेंटली न्यूज़ में ये भी देखा होगा कि OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स के लिए, ओवर द टॉप प्लेटफॉर्म्स के लिए, स्ट्रीमिंग सर्विसेज के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ नए रूल्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए हैं. तो उनके सर्टिफिकेशन, उनका जो कंटेंट है उसके सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए भी यही कैटेगरीज लगाई गई हैं. तो इट इज़ क्वाइट लॉजिकल कि फिल्म्स के लिए भी सेम कैटेगरीज अप्लाई की जाएंगी. सो दिस वॉज द फर्स्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट change being proposed by this draft. Now this draft also introduces provisions against piracy. अभी तक सिनेमाटोग्राफ एक्ट के अंदर पायरेसी को रिस्ट्रिक्ट करने के लिए कोई स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन नहीं था. नाउ दिस एक्ट इंट्रोड्यूसेस सच प्रोविजन. दिस चेंज proposes to make copying a film or a part of a film using an audio video recording device without the written authorization of the filmmaker a punishable offense. तो पायरेसी करना अभी भी पनिशेबल ऑफेंस है, लेकिन 1952 के सिनेमाटोग्राफ एक्ट के अंदर उससे रिलेटेड कोई स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन नहीं था. क्लियर? नाउ द थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रोविजन इज इन रिगार्ड्स टू एन इटर्नल सर्टिफिकेट. अभी तक the certificates issued by the CBFC, they were valid only for a period of 10 years, meaning the filmmaker or whoever holds the right to broadcast or publish that film, they would have to apply for recertification after a period of 10 years. Now this provision does away with this reappealing process, right? And it proposes to certify the films in perpetuity. मतलब एक ही बार सर्टिफिकेट लेने की ज़रूरत है, बार बार इसको लेने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. The most controversial provision is that this draft proposes to grant revisionary powers to the center. In the K.M. Shankarappa case 2000, the Supreme Court had ruled against the center's revisionary power in respect of films, but it had upheld its procedural jurisdiction. So be mindful of this case. The UPSC might frame a question. तो अब ठीक से समझ लेते हैं कि ये प्रोविजन एक्चुअली है क्या एंड व्हाई इज दिस कंसिडर्ड टू बी कंट्रोवर्शियल. सो टिल नाउ the center had only procedural jurisdiction over the decisions of the Central Board of Film Certification, meaning that the center could intervene only and only if it could be proved that the correct procedure had not been followed by the CBFC during the certification process. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? That it could not re-examine or revise the CBFC's certificate. Was there any appeals process against the certification of the CBFC? So if a filmmaker thinks that his film should have been given a more lenient certificate or certain parts of his film have been unfairly censored by the board, so would they have any recourse? So yes, they had a recourse under the 1952 Act. Appeals against the CBFC certification lay with a body known as the FCAT or the Film Certification Appellate Tribunal. Now this was a quasi-judicial body consisting of both film experts as well as judicial members who were legal experts and at times retired judges also. Recently, the FCAT was abolished under the Tribunals Reform Ordinance. So this FCAT, the appellate process, no longer exists. So as things stand today, the decision of the CBFC is final and there are no appeals against that process. Now coming back to the proposed amendment, what it seeks to do is to empower the center to review and revise the certification granted by the CBFC. तो CBFC ने कोई सर्टिफिकेट दिया है, किसी फिल्म को अप्रूवल दिया है पब्लिश होने के लिए, सेंटर उसको रिवाइज कर सकेगा अब. This means that even if all the correct procedures have been followed during the certification process by the CBFC, the center will have the power to nullify the certificate and certify the film itself. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? It could potentially even stop a film from being launched if its content or its theme is politically inconvenient to the government. तो कई सारी फिल्म्स ऐसी होती हैं जो कि पॉलिटिकल मुद्दों पे बनी होती हैं, रिलीजियस मुद्दों पे, सोशल मुद्दों पे, विच मे बी परसीव टू बी एम्बैरसिंग फॉर द गवर्नमेंट और inconvenient for the government. And if the center has the right to certify the films, then it might choose to censor those films or to change their content to such an extent that its meaning is completely lost. Now, herein lies the biggest criticism of this new draft. What it does is to create a super censor by giving extraordinary and arbitrary powers to the central government. Further, since the FCAT or Film Certification Appellate Tribunal has already been abolished, filmmakers would not even be able to appeal against the center's decision. तो अभी तक FCAT था, तो जो CBFC है उसके decisions के against filmmakers could have appealed. But now that the FCAT has been abolished itself, the decision of the center would be final and the filmmakers would have no recourse if they feel that the center has unfairly restricted the publication of their films. Now, many believe that this would curb free expression and stifle creativity and originality. It could lead to a widening disconnect between the filmmaker and the audience, making films irrelevant and uninspiring. तो फिल्म मेकर्स क्या कोशिश करते हैं, हमेशा अपनी ऑडियंस से कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, और वो कब करेंगे, व्हेन दे आर एबल टू मिरर द एस्पिरेशंस एंड होप्स, fears and tribulations of their audience. Now, अगर सेंटर के इंटरफेरेंस की वजह से if they are not able to put across their ideas or their themes effectively to the audience will gradually lose interest and films will become irrelevant. इसका एक इफेक्ट ये भी हो सकता है कि इट कुड पोटेंशियली पुश द ऑडियंस टूवर्ड्स फॉरेन कंटेंट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ इंडियन फिल्म्स. तो उस ओरिजिनलिटी की खोज में इंडियन ऑडियंस जो अभी तक इंडियन फिल्म्स को लाइक करता था, नाउ ही मे स्टार्ट लुकिंग टूवर्ड्स ऑल्टरनेटिव्स. चलिए, आई होप आप लोगों को ये समझ में आ गया होगा. लेट अस मूव अहेड एंड फाइनली टॉक अबाउट द इम्पॉर्टेंस ऑफ फ्री एक्सप्रेशन इन फिल्म्स एंड द आर्ट्स. So I think it's fair to say that this world of ours is going through some turbulent times right now. Bad things have been happening and emotions are running high. And as always, there's people waiting in the wings, looking for their chance to exploit the situation and advance their own cause. People who treat disagreement and different perspectives as obstacles to be ruthlessly bulldozed and shamed into oblivion, rather than the basis of a civilized conversation. Pair this with spineless media companies who care only about turning a profit, willing to bend backwards and compromise the silent majority in order to appease the vocal minority, and you end up creating conditions for a big brother censor. Some of you might say that a super censor of sorts is necessary to safeguard public morality, the unity and integrity of the nation, and our national security. The mindful dilutions of certain freedoms are small prices to pay for these lofty and important goals. But here's the slight problem with all of this. Slowly but surely, it's diminishing who we are. See, every single piece of entertainment we consume, from the humblest amateur movie to the grandest blockbuster, is a unique and special piece of art. It may not appeal to all sensibilities or represent the pinnacle of its genre, but it is art all the same. It exists because it can, not because it must. It exists because we chose to make it so. People exercise their imagination, their creativity, and their ingenuity to turn a simple idea into a reality, and that is something to be treasured. See, art is what makes us who we are. From the first time we learned to use tools, we've been driven to express ideas that transcend the limitations of our existence. We've been compelled to create things that will outlast our short lives, to tell stories that enthrall and captivate people long after we've lived and died. Our art is an expression or not just of who we are, but of who we were and who we might be, the good and the bad. It allows us to explore our highest aspirations and our deepest fears, the power of our compassion and kindness, and the darkness of cruelty and hatred. It can thrill us with stories of courage, determination, adventure, and excitements, or vengeance and anger. It can impart wisdom and knowledge, stir our wonder and imagination, carry us to far off worlds and different cultures. It can show us the strength of love and friendship, or the dangers of anger and conflict. It can give us daring heroes and terrifying villains. It can make us laugh and it can make us cry. It can show us the best and the worst of humanity, or even challenge what it means to be human. It can do all these things and be all of these things for one reason and one reason alone, because it is free. It is free to be bold and creative, inspiring and frightening, challenging and thought provoking. It can dare to be provocative and controversial, because all of these things are what make life worth living. But if we are not careful, it will not stay that way. Already we are seeing the increasingly insidious attempts being made to restrain our freedoms. The growing attacks on artists, poets, and filmmakers, book bans, and detentions of journalists, designed to have a chilling effect on free expression. The blindness, the laziness, the pandering, and the politics are slowly leaching the fun, ambition, and individuality of everything, all in a relentless crusade to avoid giving offense, not only to individuals but also to groups and governments. It will start with the small things, of course. A clip seen here, a minor edit there, a change of a name, or an altered meaning. But here you might say to me, it's not that much to ask, is it? You're making too big a deal out of nothing. If a piece of entertainment causes offense to people, why not switch it a little so that everyone can enjoy it? Well, my friend, that is where it may start, but that is not where it all ends. Slowly but surely, the changes will spread and grow. They'll get bigger and more severe, and you'll keep trying to appease them. The offended voices will grow louder and more strident, and still you'll try to appease them, until eventually they'll demand something that you won't give up. But by then, it'll be too late. They'll have been appeased too many times. They'll have grown too bold and too loud to be silenced. They'll have perfected the weaponry of social media shaming to target and destroy anyone who disagrees. And by that point, the companies who own the rights to our arts, the keys to our entertainment, will be too afraid to do anything except capitulate. And what will be left when it's all over? A cold, sterile, censored, soulless world. A world where creativity, imagination, and free expression are forbidden so as not to risk offending someone. A world constrained by fear and shame instead of driven by curiosity and inspiration. But it doesn't have to be that way. Our art is who we are, who we were, and who we could be. It's our aspirations, our fears, and our legacy. It's the best and worst facet of our nature. And every time we chip away at it, censor it, alter it, or remove it, we'll lose another little piece of ourselves. Our culture becomes depleted, not enriched. We become a little more timid and fearful instead of bolder and more confident. We learn to obey and conform instead of question and challenge. We disrespect the work and legacy of our previous generations for all their vices and virtues, their strengths and failings, their triumphs and failures. They too are a part of us, and like us, they should never be compromised. With that in mind, I'm going to leave you with some words from a wiser and smarter man than I could ever hope to be. Words that I think should be a lesson to us all.
With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. The first time any man's freedom is trodden on, we're all damaged.
I hope you liked this session. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you soon with a new topic. Till then, be well and Jai Hind.